this through the standards process. And so, and this was actually one of my final slides as I left the Defense Department. I said, well, I was briefing my director. I said, well, what do we need to do? What have we done? By the way, it's now early 2005 in this timeline. What have we done? Well, on February 10th, 2004, the World Wide Web Consortium advanced the web ontology language, it's OWL, right, up to a standard. And it was based on description logics and RDF. By the way, here, I'll tell you all a story. So this is cool. Anybody ever know how the language got to be called OWL? So the web ontology language, the WOL. Right? There's AOWL. And the reason is, and I'm going to not put in names here, but if any of y'all have little kids, I do, I've got 2 daughters. And if y'all have little kids, you've maybe read Winnie the Pooh to them. And if you've read Winnie the Pooh to them, you may have read The House of Pooh Corner, which is classic in the genre. And in there, there's a character called Eeyore. He's kind of a sad sack character. And he has this, he can't really spell very well. And so he sees this sign, and there's another character called Owl. And Owl has written a sign on his house saying with WOL. And Eeyore, in the House of Pooh Corner, it is recorded, Eeyore says WOL, that spells Owl. And that, my friends, is how Owl got its name. So we built the web ontology language. This is about 5 years ago today. We built some reasoning languages, some rule languages, a whole bunch of work on semantic web services, which is not moved as much as we had hoped. A bunch of tools, and actually some of those websites are still live, sort of for historical interest. The DAML website is still live. And we had a whole bunch of pilots and prototypes. This course costs money, and you know, being a good taxpayer, I think you should know how much it costs. It costs about $45 million to do all that over 5 government fiscal years. So that was the investment. Another measure of impact. I used to show this to the director too. This is what happened when I Googled the word DARPA in October of 2004. And so I said, so if you know about PageRank, right? This is how other people perceive, I told the director, this is how other people perceive your agency as expressed by their hyperlinking behavior. And oh, by the way, look at that. This is how people on the web are starting to think about DARPA. It wasn't the first thing there. The first thing was the home page. The second page was the Grand Challenge, which was this cool little robot race through the desert. But number 2 and number 3 were the DAML.org site and the announcement from the W3C. So that was fantastic. I mean, that is impact, right? This is one of the early slides. Let's skip that one. So, okay, so now let's fast forward to 2009. There is this thing called the Semantic Web Technology Stack. Actually exists in a number of different minorly variant versions. Dave had one. So where are we in 2009 right now? Well, the bottom of the stack is mature, and that actually has been mature for a really long time. That's XML, URIs, HTTP, and so forth. At this point now, though, there is commercial, I'll call it cutting edge, it's not common, but cutting edge software for a lot of the pieces that were put in place in the DAML program and its companion EU programs. That is RDF, Core, and Schema, Sparkle, OWL, and even some of the encryption standards that were in there. And there's still some active research around, primarily around rules, so that is sort of finally reaching its day in the sun right now, and truth, proof, and trust. So this is kind of where we are. But the thing is that, of course, you got to complete the picture somehow. And what has been truly amazing over the past couple of years is the way that this picture has been completed. In that we've gotten more ontologies, we've had this whole revolution in Web 2.0, right, which gives us tag systems and microformats, sort of a whole new authoring system. We now have what we didn't have in 04, except very experimentally, ways to combine RDF and OWL and database traditional relational systems. We now have a lot more understanding of scalable reasoning, and in fact, called A-box, T-box reasoning is really tremendous improvement over what we had in 04. In 04, we basically couldn't scale anything. right? We could go to a few thousand triples, maybe a few tens of thousands, before everything kind of ground to a halt. That's now gone, largely. And we have this massive base of RDF data, which I'm going to talk about later. So by 2009, we actually have a lot of the infrastructure of the dark hypothesis. We've got markup languages, including these ones that we didn't even sort of have any idea about. So things like RDFA. Actually, and OWL2, or sorry, OWL is now in this OWL2 revision to make it sort of even easier to use, and clean up some of the dark corners. There's now triple stores which routinely scale to 1 billion, both commercial and open source.